What's up, guys? Today I'm going to do a little install video. As many of you know, we have a 2022 Polaris Turbo R, and it's a premium model, which means one of the things that came factory are these Click 6 harnesses. Now, I know there are going to be a lot of people that tell me I'm wrong when I say I'm not crazy about them. Occasionally when you need to lean forward and say a tree limb hits your mirror, you need to lean forward and adjust that mirror. If there's something in the glove compartment you need to get, sure, that retractable part does come in handy. I'm not going to lie. For the most part, they are very bulky. I do not like these thigh straps. I do not like all this extra stuff that's right here. I'm just not crazy about them. It seems like every time I get out, when I throw the restraints off, when I go to get back in and pull one, it never fails. The other side goes behind the seat. Now I'm digging behind the seat to get it because they are connected back here in the back to a single strap. So I haven't been crazy about these harnesses as much as some people rave about them. So I reached out to the folks at Dragonfire and said, hey, I want to take these retractable harnesses out. I want to go back to a traditional style harness. And they graciously have provided me with a set of their 2-inch harness with a auto style buckle, which is going to be comparable to the Click 6 that's in there now. It's an easy in and out, which for the ladies like my wife is a necessity. She's not going to fool with the cam buckle stuff. She's going to want the auto buckle. Why did I choose Dragonfire? In our previous machines, the XP Turbo that we had, the 2021 XP Turbo, I had a set of these and some of their RT seats and loved that setup. I've had a couple of other brands of a traditional harness in the past, and while they all serve the purpose, they're all going to protect you when you, in the event you roll over or get into trouble. One thing that I noticed with these, something that I would say most everyone has experienced at some point anyhow, is when you're gonna make an adjustment to the belt. Say if you're going from, like today I've got a t-shirt and jeans on, next weekend I might need to put a coat or some coveralls, overalls, something thicker on, and you've got to make those adjustments to bring the belts in or out, tighten or loosen. Everybody's experienced that, whether it's like, where did this concrete in these come from and why can't I get anything to move? These seem to do that a little less than a couple of other brands that I've tried. I'm not going to name call here, but it seemed like these were a little more resistant to that locking up concrete effect that I have experienced with a couple of others. Okay, so this project I'm working on today, replacing these harnesses, this is going to be the same whether you have a Pro XP, a Turbo R, or a Pro R. They're all basically going to be the same process. So if this is something that you're interested in doing, obviously any of those three machines, it's going to be a comparable scenario as far as doing the swap. Okay, so as you can see, I have already removed both front seats, and what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to start removing the hardware that hold these in place. We've got 4 bolts across the top. I'm going to remove those first and work my way down. All right, so back in the corner right here, I know the lighting in my garage isn't the best. This bolt right here is not going to come out until I take this stuff off. So I'm going to pull that stuff out real quick. Okay, so I have removed both of the rear panels, the firewall panels, or whatever you want to call them. I'm not exactly sure what that would be referred to, but now, as you can see, I can get that bolt out of there. Now I'm just sticking this stuff back in here for now. I am going to reuse the original factory hardware when I do these new harnesses, and I probably need to pull this thing out and clean that area while I'm at it, huh? We did a night ride a couple nights ago and it was muddy, so she's not exactly the cleanest that she's ever been, but for this video, most of you guys have probably seen dirty machines before, so it will be okay. All right, so now that that stuff's off, reposition the camera. I've still got the front two thigh straps to take off right here, and then the retractable box itself. This is what keeps tension on the harnesses once you've got them in place. So all right, so for the folks that might want a comparison of these two harnesses next to each other, here's your Click 6 harness laid out in the floor, and your Dragonfire harness laid out in the floor. I mean, you can see just how much more clumsy and cumbersome the Click 6 setup is. You've got the box that attaches to the floor, both the lap and the thigh belts and all the garbage that goes along with that. So much simpler setup, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this swap. Less to adjust, less in the way, should make for a better overall experience. One thing real quick, you will need to get a seatbelt eliminator clip. So when you unplug the driver's side, take that harness off, this wiring is going to come off with it, of course, and you're not going to be able to go over 15 miles an hour or whatever it is. I think that's what it is, without a seatbelt eliminator clip. Those can be bought in conjunction most of the time with the harnesses and whatnot. There's lots of places online that sell them. They're $5 or $6, I think. One other thing that you're going to need, and I didn't think about this, because I am going to bolt these back to the original location, I need to get some clips kind of like this, these tabs for the end of these harnesses. Didn't think about these not having that in the box, and so that's something that I'm going to grab either this afternoon or tomorrow, and I'll get the video wrapped up then. Well, it's been a couple of days since I started this harness swap. I ran out of time the other day when I started doing the video and was doing the swap, and due to work and other things, I've not been able to get back to it. So I was able to come up with some of these tabs that I mentioned earlier in the video. I actually had a buddy that had some of these, so I didn't have to order a set. I'm going to use these for now. I may eventually go through UTV distribution and order. They've got the little eye bolts with the quick connect style of tab, and may run the harnesses through the headrest on the seat at some point. I don't know if I'll do that or not, but it gives you that option to quickly remove these so you can pull the seats out when you've got to clean. Nonetheless, as you can see, these are connected at the bottom already. As a matter of fact, I've already completed the installation on the passenger side. The seats back in, harnesses are all tight. So literally all that's left to do today is to install these two tabs, tighten up this hardware, throw the seat back in it, and I will give you some final thoughts. And just like that, I am complete with swapping out the harnesses. So going from Click 6 to the Dragonfire, super easy swap. I did want to show that included with the harnesses and the boxes, you're going to get these instructions on how they recommend going about installing these. Of course, you've got full color instructions that are going to go along with the written instructions for those that don't want to read the written instructions. And then you also get this. This is just some general guidelines that they give for angles for the shoulder straps and the lap belts and stuff like that. One thing I did find really handy, you can see this illustration right here. These little buckles right here where you feed these through, the proper way to do that so that they're not going to constantly come loose, especially if you roll over, you don't want those to come off. So yeah, I did refer to that section at least. I've kind of swapped harnesses and stuff before, so that part of it I was already familiar with, but nonetheless, those are included in the packaging with the harnesses. So yeah, overall, very happy with these. Why did I want to go back to a traditional harness? I've watched some video, if I've had the GoPro mounted in this area where I can kind of see in the cab and stuff while we're riding. And one thing with the retractable harnesses, I notice I get tossed around a lot. Everything we ride's typically rocky terrain, so the machine's constantly kind of getting knocked around and stuff. And while the retractable harnesses do have their advantageous features, it seems like I get tossed quite a bit more with those. So even if we're not doing something crazy, we're not climbing steep stuff, I kind of keep them snug like this, and that seems to keep me planted in the seat more than the retractable harnesses did. So at the end of the day, big difference as far as how your back feels, how your neck's going to feel if you're not constantly getting tossed around. And I mean, you know, these things are super easy. If I need to reach up and adjust a mirror or something like that, it's not a big deal. So you know, kind of keep them snugged about like that, and they seem to work well. So again, greatly appreciate Dragonfire sending these to me, and if you folks have any questions or you're interested in their products, feel free to reach out to them at dragonfireracing.com. Hope you folks enjoyed the video. As always, I greatly appreciate you hit that like, and if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button. That's going to kind of give me some encouragement to continue doing these kinds of videos, and I hope that you folks like it. Have a good one.